Hi, this is Stephen Ruiz with Agentes Consulting, coming to you from the UX Strategy Summit in San Francisco in 2014. And I am here with Lynn Teo, who I had the opportunity to chair the panel where she was speaking today, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I would like to know a little bit about you.
Sure. So my name is Lynn Teo, and I'm currently running my own advisory. And the clients that I work with tend to be startups, academic institutions, corporations, as well as agencies, particularly agencies that are looking to transform themselves and the services they provide. The other thing that I feel very passionately about is also academia. And so half-time, I'm actually an interim chair for the very first MFA in Interaction Design program out of the College of Creative Studies in Detroit. And there's something I find very appealing about helping a city kind of get back up on its feet. And so, why not do it while I can also help shape young minds? So a couple of things that I'm balancing at the moment.
Well, that sounds like more than a few things that you're balancing at the moment. So let me ask you something. You have a lot of things that are happening in your world, and coming from the user experience design perspective, let me ask you how you are running your business, how you apply user experience design principles, and then talk a little bit about the presentation that you gave today, and how you're applying that to these different facets of your career.
Okay, so I'll start with the first one, which is how I'm running my business. So this is all very new to me. I've been in industry for about 17 or 18 years, and I've always worked for someone else. So, I think the process of working for myself is a little bit different. But what I did was I just started building relationships with ex-clients or, new clients, and I approach it from what can I do to solve a problem that they're currently having. So I feel like that opens up the floodgates. So I don't let any predefined, kind of project or problem, I don't let it constrict the kinds of services that I can provide to my clients. And I actually enjoy the process of not having a cookie cutter solution, because at this juncture of my career, I feel like it's the differences between the problem set that gets me fired up. So that's kind of me running my business. The second thing was, if you could jog my memory.
Oh, sure. The second thing was, could you talk a little bit about the presentation that you gave today?
Yes. So the presentation I gave today tackles that intersection between brand, marketing, and UX. And I think that we're at a crossroads in bringing those disciplines together. For the longest time, I think marketing and UX stayed in very separate swim lanes in organizations. But I feel like those two things are inextricably linked, because if you think about marketing is about acquiring new customers. It's about selling the product or the service. And so if you go back to the roots of UX, it's about understanding consumers or users' needs, understanding their triggers, their motivation. And so I think we're entering an age of marketing now where it's less of push marketing, of simply, pushing a message to a prospect or to a customer, but it's about demonstrating that you want to build a very authentic relationship with a consumer. And you want that relationship to last for a long time, because it has loyalty benefits. It ultimately has a business benefit. So I think we're only at the early stages of trying to meld those two areas together. But I think that any UXer who has been in industry for anything from 12 to 15 years would have seen enough of the discipline to be able to make that shift or to cross over into another discipline and help the organization. So that keeps me really intrigued and excited about what I do.
Sure. And it's a really valid point. I think, during your presentation, there was one thing that really stood out to me. I have had the opportunity to work on both the product side and the agency side, so I'm fairly well versed in sort of the cross-cultural communications between marketing and product design. Now, what would you tell someone who is coming from a more technology coming from a technology side and moving into the marketing side, and how to kind of mind the gap between the concept of a product versus the concept of user experience design for marketing?
Yes, that's a very good question, because I think anyone who comes with a tech orientation tends to be very focused on functionality, how things work, right? Which is hardly surprising because that's their sweet spot. So if they want to be able to cross over, a couple of things I think they could do is to start to get familiar with the vernacular of marketing, right? So marketing is a discipline in its own right. And there are certain business metrics that marketers look to, things like consumer lifetime value, things like conversion. Ultimately, they ladder up to the business, right? And how successful a business is. So I think for a technology person to cross over with confidence, they need to first familiarize themselves with some very key metrics that the business use to judge if they're doing the job well. And then I think a degree of openness, a willingness to put yourself out there and say, I might be a tech head, but I'm going to learn this new field, and I'm going to lean on the experts in the field to help me transpose what I can do in the tech world into marketing. I think there's a lot of talk about ad tech, for example, which is a marriage of technology and advertising and marketing. So I think it's the crossovers that I think keep our industry very exciting and very much in flux in a good way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I've been here with Lynn Teo, who is an entrepreneur and an angel investor and an academia expert and just so many things. And it's been an absolute pleasure to meet with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Excellent.
Excellent. Again, Stephen Ruiz with Agentes Consulting at the UX Strategy Summit 2014.